So, hey guys, it's Anita. This is much easier than me trying to text all of this information to you, so I figured I would do this video kind of quick and easy just to cover some of the basic tenements of training. We do this in every training class that we have. It's always our first class, and it basically sets the foundation for successful training with your dog. So basically there's four elements: consistency, timing, management, and motivation. Consistency, sorry, I have animals here and they're all joining me in. Consistency is exactly what I was texting you yesterday. So consistency is exactly that. It is consistent across the board in every way, shape, or form. So there's a couple of different ways that this can be interpreted. One is consistent with everybody in the household. So you and your boyfriend have the exact same expectations, are on the exact same page, are using the exact same wording, the exact same timing. Everything, regardless of who is asking Huey to perform a task, is exactly the same for him. Dogs are unable to interpret nuance. They're unable to interpret, oh, well, I like this and he likes that. It needs to be the same across the board. Otherwise, they just end up getting confused. So everybody is consistent every single time. It's also in our expectations. So we are using the exact same word every single time, and that one word means one specific action from the dog. So, for example, if your dog jumps up on you and is trying to lick your face and is jumping and is acting crazy, you may say down to make the dog get off of you and stop jumping on you. However, what word would you then use when you want your dog to lay down and be calm on the floor? It can't be the same word for both. So in my circumstance, when my dog jumps up on me, I say off. That means get off of me, get off of the couch, get off of the chair, get off of the kitchen counter, whatever it is that you're jumping up against. When I want you to lay down and be calm on the floor, I say down. So one word means one action only. And it needs to be, again, consistent throughout. So if one of you is okay with the dog jumping up on you and the other one isn't, you need to find a middle ground. You need to find which one it's going to be. The dog isn't going to understand that sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not. And if mom uses this really mean voice, then that means it's not. There's no nuance like that. It either is or it isn't. They're very black or white. So consistency, we're consistent across the board with our expectations. We're using the same wording and we're being consistent in our corrections. That means every single time a dog does something we don't like, we correct it. I think I said it to you yesterday. If 4 out of 5 times we correct the dog and we miss that one time, what we've taught the dog at that point is that sometimes I can get away with this. And especially for a dog like Huey, who's 8 years old and is a little bit older, this is definitely going to push him outside of his comfort zone. It's going to make him uncomfortable. It's going to make his little brain work. He's not going to like it a whole lot in the beginning. And he is going to want to revert back to his status quo and to his comfort zone. And every time he gets away with it, it's going to show him, if I push mom hard enough, if I push dad hard enough, they're going to let me do what it is that I know. They're going to let me do what it is that I'm comfortable with, which is howl, yell, bark, pull, tug, jump, whatever it is. So every single time, no matter how tired we are, no matter how hectic it is, we want to make sure that we're correcting. Otherwise, we end up with a really confused dog and a dog where the training really doesn't stick. So that's consistency. Timing. Timing is crucial. Dogs live very much in the present moment. I can sit here doing this video and I can talk to you and I can have the thought in my brain that I need to flip my laundry and my coffee is brewing and percolating and I need to go get that. And you would have no idea that I was thinking those things. Dogs are not like that. Dogs live in the present moment. Whatever they're looking at is what they're thinking about. Whatever it is that they're reacting to, that's what's in their brains. So in order for a dog to link your reaction to the behavior that they're doing, your reaction needs to come within 1.3 seconds of their behavior. So I have multiple dogs. some of my dogs are notorious garbage rippers. I leave the house, they rip open the garbage. For me to come home after being outside for an hour or even 5 minutes, to come in the door and see garbage all over the kitchen floor, I cannot now correct my dogs unless they are nose deep in garbage as I walk through the door. Because for me to correct them, they're now going to link my reaction to what it is that they're doing in that exact moment, which for the most case is them greeting me happily at the door and wagging their tails and being super excited and happy that I'm home. And for me to correct, they're linking my mood and my energy and my correction to that behavior. Not the fact, they're not thinking back to the fact that they ripped open the garbage 10 minutes ago, an hour ago, 4 days ago, whatever the case might be. So timing is everything. 1.3 seconds, that's how long we have to tell the dog, I don't like what you're doing, or I do like what you're doing. I love it. Keep doing this. We need to be super fast. We need to be on top of it, and we need to do it every time. Management with an older dog like Huey, and I think you said you're not crating him. He's not destructive when he's home, and that's fine. Most times when we're training puppies, we talk about crating to try and control behavior in between. What I think I'm going to do for you guys in terms of management is a lot of work outside of time frames when you're actually getting ready to take him out the door. So we're going to get him used to, first of all, sitting and laying down and being in a very calm state when he does that. We're going to get him used to having a leash put on and off, and not going outside means nothing. And putting a leash on you does not mean you get to howl and yowl and act like a lunatic. It means I'm putting a leash on you and you're going to be super calm and chill. I'm going to put a leash on you in different parts of the house. So we're really going to start to try and manage that behavior by introducing it to him in different times and spaces so that he's not automatically linking this behavior, aka getting a leash off of a hook or out of a drawer, with I get to go out the door, which then triggers my crazy excitement and I get to yowl and bark and be crazy. So we're going to start to try and manage his behavior through that. And then the fourth aspect is motivation. Dogs are motivated typically by pack, by reproduction, which we take care of when we fix them, and by food. And with most dogs, until they are fully trained and they understand the reward and consequence kind of benefit to training, their biggest motivator is food. Eventually, especially with puppies, they will do it for the love of you and to get praise. But in the beginning, and with an older dog like Huey, who's kind of had the ability to function in the way that his instincts have told him to, he is not going to do it just for love and cuddles. Basically, if I called you and said, come clean my house, it's 4:00 in the morning, I know, but I'll totally give you a pat on the back and I'll say thank you. You would not come over and clean my house. If I called you at 4 a.m. and said, come clean my house for $100,000, you'd come and clean my house at 4 a.m. So the payment needs to match the commitment and the effort that they're putting into it. So this is where you're going to have the yummiest, most delicious snacks in the world ready for him when you're training. So things that he doesn't normally get. I know every dog always has their favorite snacks. We're going to amp that up even higher. So cheese is a big one. Hot dogs. If you've had steak for dinner last night, or if you had turkey on the weekend for Easter, little bits of leftover meat, super, super tiny little pieces. He doesn't need to get huge chunks every time because his tummy's going to fill up really fast. As the tummy gets full, motivation starts to sink. So literally just tiny, tiny little pieces. He's just getting tastes of it, just enough that he's super excited and happy to get those. The other part of motivation that I want to talk to is the fact that our touch is very motivating for dogs. We anthropomorphize dogs all the time. If our dogs are whiny and carrying on and being, shaky and scared, I have a dog that's terrified of thunder. My first instinct is to cuddle him and tell him it's okay and, there's nothing to be afraid of. What our touch does to our dogs is it reinforces whatever behavior they're performing at that current time. So if a dog is being super anxious, high anxiety, super vocal, snippy, bitey, anything like that, and we're petting them, we're reinforcing that behavior by telling our pet tells them, our touch tells them, I love what it is that you're doing right now. Please keep doing it. And unfortunately, for the most part, we tend to use touch in the exact wrong times. So for now, when Huey is being super crazy and vocal, I don't want you touching him. We're not going to pet him. We're not going to try and calm him down through stroking or cuddles or hugs or none of that is going to happen. We are not going to reinforce that behavior. What we are going to start doing is we're going to try and start breaking down the routine of going outside of the house into smaller steps. We're going to start introducing some basic training and reinforcing it to make sure that he knows it down pat. What I'm thinking first and foremost is our sit and our down, because what we would ideally likely be able to do is to put Huey into a sit, have him understand that when I'm in a sit, I am nice and calm and I am quiet, attach a leash, calm, quiet, pick up the leash, and out the door we go. And all of that is done calmly, quietly, without muss, without fuss. But we need to start the building blocks. And so for you guys, what I would like you to start doing is working on your sit. I'm going to do a separate video just to kind of show you some of the basics of the sit. But I wanted to send this first because I need to make sure that you guys understand these 4 basics, because we're going to refer back to them quite often, especially once we start getting into it. And if we're doing some kind of live video, I may ask you to watch your timing on your corrections for Huey and things like that. I'm still a little bit on the fence in regards to whether or not we're going to use the prong, because it's a difficult thing to master, especially remotely when I'm not there to help you with your actual technique and to help you with your timing. So I'm still contemplating that, and I'm talking to my partner about it too to get her input. But for now, I wanted to cover the 4 basics, and I'll send you a video about getting the sit down. All right, awesome. Thanks. Bye, guys.